welcome to my first video. I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little bit nervous of putting myself out there. Don't mind my mess. I don't have a filming space. I'm actually doing this on my iPad with the lights in my little vanity area, my mirror, and the window. I have a little ring light, but it kind of sucks. Anyway, so first thing first, I'm going to do what I've already done is I've already put some fresh lip balm on. Because my lips are really chapped, so we're just going to put some more on. Because this will work good as a base to plump up the lips too and keep them smooth for makeup. So I had a couple of friends ask me to do my makeup routine on camera for them, and it's a little nerve-wracking, so thanks, Lauren. Anyway, so the specific request was, what do I use on my face? What is my routine for beating sweat, humidity, living in the South? There's really no like true answer. It's all about your skin type and what works for you. So this is what works for me. I have dry to combination skin. My T-zone can get oily, but it also can be very dry. So it just depends on the day. I always start my day out with, especially before I do makeup, I cleanse, I tone, I do serums, I use eye creams, and then I moisturize. I use a lot of skincare products that are meant for dry skin, and with that combo T-zone, because again, I get very dry and oily through the middle of my face, so it just kind of depends. So the first thing you are going to do before you do any of your makeup is you're going to prime. So I'm using, and I've recently just started using this, the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, and I love it. I got it as a point with Sephora, or points with Sephora, and this is great in like my T-zone, but you don't want to use too much of it because, you know, you don't need to. Especially for me, I just need it in the T-zone because this is where I have the most problems, I have the most pores. And I like sheer to buildable foundations anyway, so that's what I like to do. Anyway, so there's that. So after I prime with a physical primer, I'm going to use MAC Fix Plus, and I'm just going to spray my face for a little bit of extra like sticky tackiness and to give my skin some more of that hydration back. If you've never used this, you are missing out. This is from their Cherry Blossom collection. So I'm gonna let that dry. Yes, I'm using a Backstreet Boys DNA World Tour fan. I am a huge Backstreet Boys fan. So, thank you, Lauren. This was a Christmas present. The thing I'm going to do, because I have some spots. So I have a couple of acne, like, left behind scars from where I picked up my pimples. Don't do that, by the way. It's so bad for your skin. And it leaves spots. Anyway, so I'm using a Wet n Wild little domed brush, and I'm going to use the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Light 2 Vanilla. And I'm just going to dab it onto those spots to help kind of cover those up. And I'm doing this under my foundation because it's a matte formulation, and it's more full coverage. And so once I get them on my spots, I'm going to use the warmth of my finger. So I'm just going to use my ring finger because that's the most gentle finger you have. So while I'm doing this, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I am not a makeup artist. I'm not certified, and I'm not an esthetician. I know a lot about makeup because I have been a makeup fanatic for majority of my life. Since a child, I would get into my mom's makeup and make a mess and love it. And then when I had my own money and was able to start buying everything, I got really into MAC products. And I would go to my local MAC store and get my makeup done. And I would learn from the artists what to do and how to do it, and that's kind of where I learned. So let's not hate on my technique because I don't really have one. I just kind of do what I've learned. Second of all, Don't take everything I say with a grain of salt because, again, I'm not licensed. I don't really know the ins and the outs of skincare. This is just what works for me, okay? So, for my base, after I've primed and I've put on a base concealer, I will go based on what kind of coverage I want for that day. Also, don't mind my brushes. They are filthy. They definitely need to be cleaned, and that's probably why I'm doing it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So because I'm home today, I'm just gonna use my favorite. My favorite foundation is the MAC Face and Body, and I'm in shade N2 or N3, depending on my coloring that I have going on. If I've been in the sun or if I haven't been in the sun. Regular foundation with them, I'm an NW20, which is a little bit dark for me right now. So again, take that with a grain of salt. So today I'm going to use my MAC Face and Body, but for me, I'm just going to put it on the back of my hand. You can put it right on your brush. I'm going to use a brush. This is the Alamere Cosmetics bronzer brush. I use this for foundation. I don't really know why, but I do. I also really like the Luxie Round Top Blender for foundation. And let me see, where is it? It's a Wet n Wild one that's meant for foundation. I like that one a lot too. But anyway, so I start by stippling on my skin. And you're just really going to press that in. Instead of doing circles. The circles will definitely leave brush strokes in your face. So I have a mirror here, and you are here. So, sorry, I'm not trying to like look at myself. Anyway, so. I feel so silly. I am definitely not an influencer, and I'm definitely not a YouTuber, so this is my very first go. Anyway, make sure you bring it down your neck because you want your neck to match. All right. Okay, so for concealer, I like a couple of different options. Colourpop, but I can't find my other one. So, Colourpop, the No Filter Concealer is amazing. It's so good for the price. I mean, come on. And then the Pretty Fresh one is great too. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of a combo of both of those. And again, I'm going to use another Alamere brush. It's their brightening brush. I don't know. So with my concealer, some people dab it on top of their spots, but because I've already done that, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to put a couple of spots here, down my nose, and down the center of my face, because this is where, like, again, I'm going to have issues with makeup coming off. My lighting is not good. You can't really see what I'm doing, can you? Let's see if this is any better. Is that better? Yeah, it's a little better. So the Pretty Fresh concealer is Fair 15W, and the Pro No Filter concealer is Light 12. And again, I have no earthly idea if these are my right shades, but they work for me for now. So, I like to add my coverage with concealer and have like a base, just a light base, because I don't like to look heavy. I learned a long time ago that really thick formulas make my skin look cakey and heavy. And I just don't like that. I like to look like I have on makeup, but I don't like to look like I have on too much, if you know what I mean. So with my concealer, I kind of drag it up. I have dark circles, but they're not really bad, so I don't really need to worry about a lot of coverage there. But I have brown eyes, so So my eyes tend to look, oh, and they're hooded. They're a little bit hooded because I'm old. So I like it to be a little bit brighter than I do completely covered, because it's your skin, you know, it's not going to be perfect. Unless you are just like an alien. And then I drag that up onto my eyelid. And then while my concealer is still wet, I'm going to take the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, and I'm going to take just a little bit underneath so that my concealer does not crease in that spot. I'm going to use a different powder for all over my face. So, as you can see. You can use a smaller brush. I just use the same brush. I don't really know why. But this is a Wet n Wild brush. It's ancient. It's from the Unicorn collection. And it's really clean, surprisingly. So I'm going to take some of that translucent concealer onto my eyelids. And I'm done with the translucent powder. Now, for my face, to that is the Mineralize SKINFinish powder. So that's what I'm going to use today. And I'm going to use my very filthy giant e.l.f. powder brush. It's the 101 brush. It's just like that. And I'm going to kind of pat all over my face. Don't worry. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to add some more Fix Plus to my face to get rid of any powdery residue. And we're going to take that down our neck too. And you don't want to forget about your ears. Usually I wouldn't do this with earrings in, but we are today. Alright, so now we're going to take some more Fix Plus, get rid of any of that powder. While my face is drying, I'm going to do my brows. I suck at brows, so don't judge me. Don't hate too much. My brows need to be done so bad. I should have had them done before everything closed down, but live and you learn, I guess. So I just like to draw a line underneath just to kind of shape it out, and then I just kind of fill it in. There are better tutorials out there on how to fill in your brows. It's not that important to me. I just want to look like I have brows. They don't have to be used. Oh, this is shade 3. Next I'm going to use the Gimme Brow by Benefit in shade 3 also. This is just going to get my brows to stay put. I am not going to use concealer to shape up my brows. So I used to go to the Benefit bar and get my brows. They're so dark on here. Alright, I can't handle it, so I'm going to dab some powder on top to kind of blend them in a little bit. Oh, I guess that did much. Okay. Anyway, okay. So I used to go get my brows done at the Benefit bar. I don't anymore. So, because get them done at my nail salon. Why go to 2 different places, right? Okay. So, my Benefit Cheek Leaders Bronze Palette, it has everything you need in it for a full face. Not like a full face, like powder and concealer and stuff. But you have a contouring bronzer, the warming bronzer, 2 blushes, and a highlight. I don't contour. I just bronze up my face. I don't really know how to do the contouring, so what I do is I just kind of flick it around. If I want it to be more precise, I use a different brush. I use one that's more narrow, like that. MAC 135 is a good narrow brush, but I just use this MAC brush. The number's gone, so I have no idea. It's just a domed powder brush. So I'm going to dip into both Hoola and the Hoola Caramel. I'm just going to kind of give it a good swirl. Tap off the excess. You don't want too much. And I'm just going to start bronzing up my face. I have a giant forehead, so we're going to take this all over my forehead just to make it look and appear smaller. So a rule of thumb with bronzer is to kind of do the 3 motion. I don't know who came up with that and why that's like a thing, but it works. And it's what I've always done, so. I also really like a good bronzed face. I don't care if I go overboard. If you go a little heavy-handed, you get a little too much on you. Let's turn this light back on. There we go. Get a little too much going on. You can blend it out with translucent powder. I think Jeffree Star calls that, what is it called? He calls that veiling or something. I think lipstick, Nikki lipstick, whatever her name is. That's what she calls it. So I blend it in. So that looks a little, that does look a little muddy. So we're gonna take my powder brush. Just gonna take my powder brush and some of that translucent powder and blend it. I think I just made it worse. I did. Anyway, you get the point. So that can happen if you didn't set great enough, and I guess I didn't. So we're gonna just take my foundation brush, go back over that spot a little bit, blend it in, and take the powder. Oh, that's too much powder. Oh my god, you live and you learn, I guess, right? Take our bronzer brush. I'm not gonna pick up any more product, I'm just gonna add what's on here. Anyway, so that looks better. But I like to drag it all the way across my nose. I like to be, oh look at that, I got powder everywhere. Nice and bronzed. Okay, so this is 23 minutes. I have no idea how to edit. So this is gonna go up as is. Okay, so there's that. So I'm also going to take the same shades on my eyelids. The only thing that this palette doesn't have is like a brow bone shade. So really any kind of cream you have, cream color you use on your brows. My favorite to use is MAC Blanc type. It's just like a nice little cream white, but my brows, they suck. So, I mean, and I'm just gonna use this like shader brush, a flat shader brush, to put on my brows. So my brows aren't carved out nice because they haven't been tweezed. So as you can see, I have some creasing on my lid. So I'm gonna take that Blanc type and kind of blend that out. That's also gonna create a nice little base for the colors that you're gonna put on your eyes. So for me, I'm just gonna use this palette. You can use whatever palette you have, whatever you like. So I like to take a MAC 217, an Morphe M513, a MAC 224, really whatever that's gonna slap that color on. So I'm gonna use the MAC 224 because for me, it's not about precise, accurate, plantation. I'm just going to mix the two bronzers and go to town. I just slap it on there. This is my like go-to when I have to do makeup to go somewhere really fast. I just slap on my bronzer and call it a day. Also, I don't own the rights to this music, so it's just my playlist on Spotify. And you just windshield wiper motions, swirl it. Again, I have no technique. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just slamming it on there. I have no intention of making this like a look. L-E-W-K. Look. How do you say that? Oh my god, I'm a dork. Don't mind me. Okay, so if you get a little bit of a harsh line there, you can take your translucent powder, and give a quick blend. And you can use a clean brush. So this is my Sedona Lace EB13. I think this came in a palette 100 years ago that I had. So it's a little bit softened, but it's not you know, perfect. Because, again, I'm just hanging out at the house. I'm going to do this side too. Okay, so next I'm going to take a pencil brush. I'm going to use the Alamere, nope, this is called Lavish. Lavish brush. I think this came in my BoxyCharm. So this is what we're going to use. We're going to dip into Hoola Only, the original shade. And I'm going to bring that under my eye. I'm not really smoking my eyes out. I'm just doing a little bit of definition because I don't like to use eyeliner because my eyes run. So we're just gonna add a little bit of color here. Here we go. Alright, so my eyes are basically done, but not really. So I'm going to use the California Gold Rush. I think that's what it's called. It's called Gold Rush. Blush that's in this palette. For my cheeks. But we're going to do highlighting first, and I'm using this brush. I don't know. I got this at Ulta in a pack of brushes. I forget the name. I know it's a setting brush. You guys have seen this all over YouTube. I think everybody uses this brush. And I'm going to dip into Cookie right there. There's the Cookie. Oops, Cookie's right there. This is the most stunning, beautiful highlight I've ever seen in my life. It's such a wet formula that is beautiful without being like, you got on highlight. So I'm going to dip my brush in there and I'm going to make sure I tap it off. And I like to start right here and curve it around my eye. Because I am not about that stripy, see that? That stripy highlight. And I like to use circles and blend it in. Take it up onto my brow bone. Because, look at that. You want it in spots that the sun is naturally going to hit and highlight. Okay, so that looks a little stripy. Probably because my lighting is right here. Blend it onto my brow bone. And I don't like to put more on it when I do my nose because Rudolph nose is not natural. And I just try to run it right here. Put a little bit more on it for my Cupid's bow. And I'll put a little bit on my chin. Because this is an area of my face that naturally gets oily anyway, so we don't want to put too much. And then again, if you feel like you might have put too much highlight on, you can veil it with your translucent powder. So I feel like there's a bit much up here, so I'm going to blend it out, calm it down, smidge. I really need to figure out the lighting because if I want to do this, we gotta have some good lighting. Alright, I've got a hair on my nose. So, I'm going to, and that brush that I just used was a Luxie small contouring brush. So if I were to contour, I would use this, but I don't really contour. So now I'm going to use the blush in the palette. It's Gold Rush. I love a good nude pink, or a peach blush. I am all about that basic makeup life. So, again, I just kind of throw it on. And I kind of put it on my temples, go in a circle, because when you blush, your face kind of blushes everywhere. And not just in one spot. So, and this has a bit of a glow too. So if you want to skip the highlight on this one, you can. But I like the highlight. I like to be glowy. I like to look like I have healthy, healthy skin. So, blend that out. I take it on my nose. And you know what? I actually blend it down my neck too. Add some color. Katie Jane Hughes did on Instagram, she did a high blush thing. And ever since, I've been like throwing blush like really hardcore in and around my eyes. So now I'm going to take this brush, this tapered lavish blending brush that came in my BoxyCharm, and I'm going to slap a little bit of that on. This is a good way to do a monochromatic look if you're into that. I'm really into that. And I'm just kind of put on a little bit at a time. And then last thing I'm going to do, because I love to do this, I'm going to take a MAC 242 brush. Mine's stained, but I'm not putting green on. So I dip that in there, and I put that on the inner corner. It makes my eyes look wider, makes me look more awake, just makes those eyes pop. I'll do it again on this side. And if you want a more precise Cupid's bow, you can do it like that. But I like it like that. So, and for my face, I'm done with the makeup anyway. So now I'm going to use MAC Fix Plus and a setting spray. The Morphe Continuous Mist is my favorite. I use this, but I use this too. Because they both can make your makeup just kind of settle down, melt into your skin. But it's just something about this combo for me that I like. But I do this before I do mascara because I don't like my stuff to run all over my face. So this feels good though, this fan. I'm so uncomfortable. I like it. But right now, my jam is this Pretty Vulgar Faux Reals mascara. It has the fiber wand. You see that? And it's just beautiful. I just really like it. So, and I always get mascara on my eyelids. Like, no matter how I put it on, it's a fact. It's gonna happen. So, we'll see. So if I was going to do an eyeliner, right now would be when I do it. Because I've already set my face with setting spray. Alright, so this mascara is so good. So, before, after. That's one coat. One coat. But if you get, you know, if you get it on your skin, it's easily removed with a spoolie. You just gotta let it dry. Don't like go in right away to take it off because then you're gonna smear it everywhere. So just take any spoolie like this and it flakes off just like that. And then you can tap it out if you mess up your makeup underneath.
I'm so bad at it. Yeah, if you're gonna be like thinking of this more waterproof, you want to use a waterproof oil. I don't have a problem with this one transferring or running. So I like it a lot. And I might add, this is my husband's favorite makeup lotion. And I don't read it to my brush when I do the bottom lashes. Because you don't want too much on there. If you don't have the mascara face, you're not doing it.
So, there's that. Do I look like a YouTuber? So, last but not least, we're just going to do a gloss. And I'm going to use the Come Through Luxe Gloss by Colourpop. I am definitely a gloss, low maintenance lip kind of girl, unless it's Valentine's Day or Christmas or date night. And then I'll use something very more vibrant or stay putty. Stay putty, is that a word? You can use a liner. I hate using lip liner. I am not good at it. So just like I'm not really good at eyeliner, so now we're done. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up, DM me, if you want to see it again, do something different. I will someday happily be willing to do it. This is a step out of my comfort zone for me, so be kind. So yeah, thank you. That is my Stay Put makeup right there. Thanks. Bye.